Hello everyone, I welcome you all to Practically. Today we will be solving basic question paper of mathematics for the exam which held today, that is on 4th December 2021. I hope you all did your exam very well. So let's just practice out all the questions here and you can find all the solutions in this particular video. Okay, let's begin with our exam. So we have our first question as if x into y is equals to 180 and HCF of x comma y is 3, then LCM of x and y is. This is an easy and direct formula based question. How you can proceed for it? LCM of two numbers is same as product of numbers divided by HCF of those two numbers. So that means here product is given to you as 180 and HCF you have here as 3. So if you cancel out, you have 60 as your correct answer. So that means option C is correct. Let's jump to the next question. Here's the next question. The prime factorization of 156 is. We need to do the prime factorization only. Let's just do. So 156 we have 2. 2 is basically a factor of 156, so it will come out to be equals to 78. Then you have 2, then you have 39 over here. Again it is divisible by 3, so you have 13. 13 is a prime number, so that means we have 156 as 2 into 2, that is 2 square into 3 into 13. Let's match the options. We have 2 square into 3 into 13, which matches option A. So that means option A is correct. Next question we have is the decimal expansion of rational number this. Rational number is 23 by 2 square into 5. Will terminate after how many decimal places? So how do we find this? This is basically direct. How? Just compare it with 2 raised to power m into 5 raised to power n. So you will get m as 2 and n as here as 1. Okay, so whatever is maximum of m comma n, that is maximum of 2 and 1, that is 2, this gives you the answer. Or you can even divide it and find your answer. If you don't know this procedure of solving, you can even divide this and get your answer. You will get 2 decimal places, so that means option B is correct. Next question is the number of quadratic polynomials having zeros as -2 and 5 is. You might have seen that there are many quadratic polynomials which have same zeros, right? Even we do this while solving also, that if we have two numbers which are zeros of a quadratic polynomial, so how do we form a quadratic polynomial? It is same as some constant into x minus of first zero into x minus of second zero. So this is that quadratic polynomial, right? This is the quadratic polynomial which has zeros as -2 and 5, and you can put any value of k here. K could be any real number, and any real number it can be. That means we can form infinite, quadratic polynomials which have zeros as -2 and 5, right? By writing this equation, input any value of k, you will get another quadratic polynomial, right? As you change the value of k, quadratic polynomial changes, but zeros remain same. So that means you have more than 3 as the correct answer, because you have infinite such quadratic polynomials. Next question is, if 1 is one of the zeros of the polynomial this, then you need to find the correct answer. So if 1 is one of the zeros of such polynomial, so that means if we input x as 1 in the quadratic polynomial given to us, you will get 0, right? So that means p of 1 is equals to 0. That means a into 1 square minus b into 1 plus of 1 is equals to 0. So you get a minus b plus 1 as 0. So you get a plus 1 is equals to b, which matches your option A. So that means option A is the correct answer. Next question we have is the quadratic polynomial whose zeros are 2 and 3 is. We need to find a quadratic polynomial whose zeros are 2 and 3. So let's just find this by sum and product basically. So we have sum of zeros is equals to 2 plus 3, which is 5. This is same as coefficient of x minus of coefficient of x over coefficient of x square, right? You can see in each and every option you have coefficient of x square as 1, right? So this implies you can input the value of coefficient of x square as 1, because in each option you have coefficient of x square as 1. So you get from this 5 is equals to minus of coefficient of x. So that means coefficient of x must be minus of 5. So that means option A is neglected, option B is neglected. You need to check from option C and D. So let's just go by product of zeros. Product of 0 is 2 into 3, which is 6, which is same as constant term over coefficient of x square, right? Coefficient of x square we need again this as 1 only. So that means constant term should be 6. So you get constant term as 6, coefficient of x must be minus of 5. So you can get tick this C option as the correct answer. Here 6 must be there, right? So that means option D is neglected. So you have C as the correct answer. Next question is the pair of equations y equal to 0 and y equal to minus 7 has one solution, two solutions, no solutions, infinitely many solutions. You can do this easily by graphing it. How you know that y equal to 0 is basically this x-axis only, right? Y equal to 0 is basically this x-axis, and this y equal to some other non-zero constant is the line which is parallel to x-axis. So if y is minus 7, so it passes somewhere around here where this point is, like basically this y here, y equals to minus 7. So these two lines are basically parallel, right? These two lines are basically parallel. If two lines are parallel, they will have no solution in common, right? So they have no solutions in common, right? So option C is correct. Next question you have here is, one equation of a pair of dependent linear equations is this. The second equation can be dependent linear equations means the lines which are consistent. So consistent lines basically means if you just multiply this equation with some other constant, non-zero constant, you must get that other line. So you just need to find the ratio, or you can just multiply it with some other number so that you can find the equation. So we can just go by infinitely many solutions it must have, right? It must have infinitely many solutions. So let's just put the condition what we need. A1 by A2 equals to B1 by B2 is equals to C1 by C2. This is what we need. So let's just solve. We have for A option minus 5 by 10 is A1 by A2, and then you have 7 by 14. You can see this is negative, this is positive, minus half and plus half. So this could not be equals to this could not give us the correct answer. So this is unequal, so that's why A is not the correct answer. Let's just see for B option. We have minus 5 by minus 10. Then we have 7 by minus of 14. They are not equal, right? They are not equal. That means this is incorrect. Check for option C. You have minus 5 by minus 15. And then you have 7 by 21, and then you have here this 2 should be taken to the other side. So you have minus 2 is equals to 0. So you have minus of 2 by 6, right? So you can see here 1 by 3, 1 by 3, minus 1 by 3. So these are equal, but this is not equal. So that means option C is incorrect. So let's go to option D. First, write it in standard form. You will have this as plus of 4 equal to 0. So you have minus 5 by 10, and then 7 by minus 14, and then you have minus 2 by 4. You can see that they are all equal and equal to minus of half. That means option D is correct, right? We have checked with all the options. Option D matches our requirement, which is this, right? So option D is the correct answer. Next question we have is, if ax plus by equal to a square minus b square and bx plus ay equal to 0, then the value of x plus y is, we need to find x plus y. So for that we need to solve these two equations. So let's just solve. We have first equation as ax plus of by equal to a square minus of b square. Next we have bx plus of ay equal to 0. So let's just do by elimination method. That would be easier for us to apply here. Multiply the first equation by b and second equation by a, right? So we have first equation could be written as abx plus b square y equals to b into a square minus of b square. Then second equation is abx plus a square y is equals to 0. Just subtract both the equations, right? So if you subtract both the equations, this x would be cancelled from both the terms. You would be left with b square minus a square into y is same as b into a square minus b square, right? So that means y is equals to minus of b. You got the value of y. Now you can easily put this in second equation and get the value of x. Then you can easily find x plus y. So you have bx plus of a, y is minus of b equals to 0. So you get x as ab by b, which is a. So you get x as a and y as minus b. So x plus y is a minus b, right? So you have a minus b, which is option C as the correct answer. Next question is, the distance between the points A is 0, 6 and B is 0, minus 2 is. We need to find the distance. So let's just find this by distance formula. We need to find AB, that is under root of x1 minus x2 whole square plus y1 minus y2 whole square, right? So this would be under root 0 minus 0 square, 0 only, no need to write. 6 minus of minus 2 square, so that means 6 minus of minus 2 whole square, that is under root of 8 square, that is 8 units, right? So you have 8 units as the correct answer, which is option B. Next question is, if in two triangles DEF and PQR, angle D is equals to angle Q, angle R is equals to angle E, then which of the following is not true? They have even bolded this word not true, you need to check for. So we have two triangles. Basically first one is D, E and F. Second one here is P, Q and R. Right, they have given us D, angle D is equals to angle Q. So this is equals to this, right? Angle R is equals to angle E. Angle R is equals to angle E. So which two triangles would be similar? Let's just write triangle DEF. If I write, this is similar to angle D is same as angle Q. So that means in place of D you need to write Q. Angle E is similar to, like, equal to angle R. So that means instead of E here you need to write R. Then you are left with P only. So F will be equal to P. So these two triangles are similar. So let's check the options using these two. So in first you have EF by PR. You can see EF by PR is equals to DF by PQ. EF by PR is equals to DF by PQ. You can see that this is correct, right? So that here we need to mark which is not correct. We can write, basically we have DE by QR is equals to EF by RP is equals to DF by QP, right? This is correct. Let's check for the B option. You have DE by PQ. DE by QR must be there. It's same as EF by RP. EF by RP, this is same, but this is not same. So that means here instead of PQ you need QR. So this is the correct answer, because we want to mark that option which is not true. So this is not true. For this to be true you need QR in place of PQ, right? So option B is the correct answer. Next question is, two isosceles triangles have equal vertical angles. There are two isosceles triangles. Let's say these two are isosceles triangles. This is equal to this and this is equal to this. So they have same vertical angle. So if this is theta, this is again theta. And their areas are in the ratio 16:25. Areas ratio we are given with. Right, then the ratio of their corresponding sides is we need. Basically, if this is A, B and C and this is, let's say, P, Q and R, Okay, both the triangles are isosceles, so that means if AB equals to AC, definitely this angle would be equal to this angle, and definitely this is also isosceles triangle, so definitely this angle is equals to this angle, right? So you can see that if this is x, let's say this is x, so if this is y, this is y, right? So here in first triangle ABC, you can see that 2x plus of theta is equals to 180 degree by angle sum property of triangle, and in second you would get 2y plus of theta is equals to 180 degree. If you subtract both the equations, you would get x is equals to y, right? That means all the angles here, corresponding angles, basically angle A equals to angle P, angle P, angle B is equals to angle Q, angle C is equals to angle R. These three angles are equal, so that means by similarity criterion, both the triangles are similar. So if both the triangles are similar, then the ratio of their corresponding sides, ratio of corresponding sides square is same as ratio of their area, right? We know ratio of their area, which is 16 by 25. We need ratio of corresponding sides. Ratio of corresponding sides we have as under root of this, which is 4 by 5, right? We are measuring basically the distance, so that's why taking the positive under root only. So 4 by 5 we have, so that means 4:5 ratio we have. So A option is the correct answer. Next question you have is, in the given figure, DE is parallel to BC. DE is parallel to BC. AD is equals to x, this is x. DB is equals to x minus 2. AE is equals to x plus 2 and EC is equals to x minus 1. Then find the value of x. You can see have two lines, basically DE and BC are parallel, so you can easily apply basic proportionality theorem, right? You can apply BPT. Using BPT, you have x by x minus 2, basically AD by DB is equals to AE by EC. So x by x minus 2 is same as x plus 2 over x minus 1. You just need to rotate your question paper and see like how it is applied, right? Don't apply this in wrong way. So we have x into x minus 1 same as x plus 2 into x minus 2. So this comes out to be x plus 2 into x minus 2, x square minus of 4, x into x minus 1, x square minus of x square is cancelled, you get minus x is equals to minus 4, which gives you x is equals to 4 as the correct answer. So you get x value as 4. Option B is the correct answer. Next question is, if tan theta is equals to under root 3, then secant theta is. There were 2 to 3 ways to solve this question. You can draw the triangle and take this as theta and proceed for it, but there was an easier way out to solve this also. How? Tan theta is equals to under root 3. We know when at which angle theta basically tan takes the value root 3, that is at 60 degree, right? So we are basically supposed to find secant of theta, which is secant of 60 degree, right? Secant 60 degree is 1 by cos 60 degree, which is 1 by half, that is 2. So you get 2 as the correct answer, which is option B. Okay. Next question here you have is the value of sine square theta plus 1 by 1 plus tan square theta. Here you need to recall some of your identities you had. You have 1 plus tan square theta as secant square theta, right? So you have 1 plus tan square theta as secant square theta. So that means this is secant square theta. So sine square theta plus of 1 by secant square theta is what we are supposed to find. 1 by secant square theta is same as cos square theta. Now you are left with sine square theta plus cos square theta, which is always equals to 1 using identity, you know. So that means option D is the correct answer. Next question is, if theta is equals to 45 degree, then secant theta into cot theta minus cot theta into tan theta is what you are supposed to find. secant 45, basically secant 45 degree cot 45 degree minus of cosecant of 45 degree into tan of 45 degree. You need to find secant 45 degree, root 2 into cot 45 is 1. Again you have under root 2 into 1. So root 2 minus of root 2, this comes out to be equal to 0. So that means option A is the correct answer. Next question here you have is, which of the following cannot be the probability of an event? We know that probability of an event lies in between 0 to 1, basically in between 0 to 1 it lies. So 1 by 3 it could be possible, so we need which cannot be the probability. So option A is not a correct answer. So 0.1, it lies in between 0 and 1, so this is not a correct answer. 3%, this is not a correct answer. From basically 0% to 100% we can have the probability. Here 17 by 16, this is greater than 1, so this could not be the probability of any event. So that means option D is the required answer. Next question is, if the probability of an event is m, probability of some event is m, then the probability of complementary of that event is, we know that probability of some event plus probability of complementary of that event is 1. So probability of complementary of that event is 1 minus probability of v, that is 1 minus m. So that means you have option C as the correct answer. Next question here you have is, a dice is thrown once, the probability of getting an even prime number is. On a dice, basically we have sample spaces 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. These are the possible outcomes. That means total outcomes you have is, total possible outcomes you have is 6. Right, here you need to here your favorable outcome is even as well as a prime number. Prime numbers are 2, 3, 5 here, but even out of them is only 2, right? So favorable outcome is only 1, right? 1, but that is number 2, right? If you have number 2 only on the die which comes, so that favorable outcome is only 1, right? So that means you have probability required to you is 1 by 6. So that means option C is the correct answer. Next question is, a letter is drawn at random from the letters of the word mirror. Which are the letters that have equal probabilities of being drawn? Equal probabilities of being drawn. So let's just see. Here we have M, then I, then we have R 3 times, then we have O 1 time, and nothing else, right? So that means we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have listed down all 6, right? So basically we have total numbers which are 6, right? So probability of picking up the M later, that would come out to be equal to 1 by 6 because there is only 1 M. So probability of picking I is again 1 by 6. Probability of picking R is 3 by 6, which is half. And then probability of picking O is again 1 by 6. So you can see here we need equal probabilities which are of M, I and O, right? M, I and O have same probabilities. So you can see B option and D option, these are rejected. I, O have same probabilities, but M, I, O is the more appropriate answer over here. So you would mark option C here, right? We mark the appropriate answer. If we have more than one option which is correct, we mark the one most appropriate answer for us, right? So option C is correct. Next question here you have is, if the HCF of 30, 72 and 432 is, okay, let's just find 30. You have 3, 10, 5, 2. So that means 30 could be written as 3 into 5 into 2. Next comes 72. You have 2, 36 over here, then you have 2 over here as 18, then 2, you have 9, then you have 3, right? So you have this with you, that means 72 is basically 2 cube into 3 square. Next comes 432. So you have 432 over here. So you have 2, 2, 1 and 6. Again 2 you have 108. Again 2 you have 54. Again 2 you have 27 over here. 3, then you over here you have as 9. Then again 3 you have 3, 3 and 1. You have this with you. So that means 432 is basically 2 raised to power 4 into 3 cube. Right, so we need to find the HCF first. Find the common factors you have. Common factors here you have in all three numbers as 2 and 3. Right, 2 and 3 are common in all. Next, see the least power of 2 and 3 in all the three. You can see that 1 is the least power which is there in 30. So you have 2 raised to power 1 into 3 raised to power 1, which is 6 as the correct answer. Okay, 6 is the correct answer. Next question is, what condition is to be satisfied by Q so that a rational number P by Q has a terminating decimal expansion? This is the direct question they have asked, theorem based question they have asked. You can see what is the required condition. It must be of the form 2 raised to power n into 5 raised to power m, where n and m must be non-negative integers. You can match the options, you would get C option as the correct answer. Right. Next question you have is, the smallest number by which 7 by 10 should be multiplied so that its decimal expansion terminates after 2 decimal places is. So we need to find such smallest number with which 7 by 10 must be multiplied, so it terminates after 2 decimal places. Okay, so let's go by the least number we have in the options so that we can find easily. So here 1 by 7, if we multiply, this is the least one out of all the options, so that's why I have started with D. So if we multiply 7 by 10 with 1 by 7, it would be 1 by 10, that is 0.1. It doesn't terminate after 2 decimal places, so this is not the appropriate answer. Next, go for 1 by 5. This is the number which is just greater than 1 by 7 and lesser than A and B option. So 7 by 10, when we multiply it with 1 by 5, you would get here as 14 by 100, that is 0.14. So this decimal expansion terminates after 2 decimal places. That's why option C is correct. Option A and B are greater than 1 by 7 and we are supposed to find smallest such number out of the given options. So that means option C would be correct. Okay. Next question is, 3 bells ring at interval 4, 7 and 14 minutes. If all 3 ring at 6 a.m., when will the ring after that together again? Okay, they need to ring again together, all 3 at one time. So that means they would basically ring together after the LCM. So that means we are supposed to find the LCM of numbers 4, 7 and 14. Right, that minutes we will add to 6 a.m. and we will get the required time. So 4 is 2 square, 7 as it is factors of 14 is 7 into 2. Right, so we have to find LCM of 4, 7 and 14. So this comes out to be equal to 2 square into 7. Right, so you would get 28 as the correct answer. So 6 a.m. plus 28 minutes, that means D option, 6:28 a.m. At this time they will drink again together. Okay, so option D is the correct answer. Next question here is, if -2 is 0 of the polynomial this and a plus b is equals to 4, then we need to find a and b. So here we have px plus of px is equals to x square plus of ax plus of 2b, right? As -2 is the 0 of px, that means if we put x as -2, it would give us 0. So that means -2 square plus of a into -2 plus of 2b is equals to 0. So you have 4 minus of 2a plus of 2b equals to 0. So that would give you 2 minus a plus of b equals to 0. So you get 2 plus b is equals to a. Put this a into the second given equation. You have a plus b equals to 4. Put a as 2 plus b. So 2 plus 2b is equals to 4. 2b is equals to 2. b is equals to 1. Right, as you have b equals to 1, so that means a is equals to 2 plus 1, that is 3. Right, so you have a as 3 and b as 1. Match the options, you would get b option as the correct answer. Right, next question is, the graph of the polynomial y equal to px is given in the figure. Okay, this is the figure drawn for you. The number of zeros of px is, number of zeros of a graph drawn on the coordinate axis is basically given by number of times the graph cuts or touches the x-axis. Right, so it cuts the x-axis 1, 2, 3, 4 times basically. So that means option B is the correct answer. Direct concept you need to apply, you would get 4 as the correct answer. You need not to count the intersection or the cut with the y-axis. This you should not count. Even if you have counted it here, then I'd have seen that you might have counted 5, which is not there in the option, right? So they have saved you up over here in this question. So B option is the correct answer. Next question is, the parabola representing a quadratic polynomial px is equals to ax square plus bx plus c is open upwards. Okay, we have open upwards parabola, which is possible only when coefficient of x square is positive. Coefficient of x square is positive means a is greater than 0. That means option A is correct. For open upwards, you have a greater than 0, and for open downwards, you have a less than 0. These are the direct concepts which we can apply over here. One is directly asked to you, right? So you have A option as the correct answer. Next question here you have is, the number of solutions of the following pair of linear equations. Number of solutions you are supposed to find. Let's just first write the equation in both the equations in standard format. X plus 3y minus 4 equal to 0. This is already in standard format. Next you have 2x plus 6y minus of 7 equals to 0. Now compare a1 by a2, b1 by b2 and c1 by c2 so that we can check how many solutions it have. So we have a1 by a2 as 1 by 2, b1 by b2 is 3 by 6, which is again 1 by 2, and c1 by c2 is minus 4 by minus 7, which is 4 by 7. You can see a1 by a2 is equals to b1 by b2. This is correct, but this is not equals to c1 by c2. That means this implies lines are parallel. If lines are parallel, you would have no solution. No solution means the 0 solution you have. So that means option D is correct. Next question you have is, if x equals to a and y equals to b is the solution of the system of equations, then the values of a and b are respectively. Basically, they are indirectly asking you solve these two equations and let them know the solution. So we have 3x minus y equal to 8 and x plus y equal to 4. Elimination method would be easier here. Directly add up the equations. So you would have 4x, x is, this y is cancelled, is equals to 8 plus 4, which is 12. You would get x as 12 by 4, which is 3. So x is equals to 3. Right, so now x is equals to 3, that means a is equals to 3. So option C and D are already rejected. Let's just check for y. You have x plus y is equals to 4, so y is equals to 4 minus x, right? 4 minus 3, which is 1. So y is equals to 1. So that means 3 and 1 are the correct answer. Next question is, the area of triangle formed by the lines 2x plus 3y equals to 12 and x minus y equals to 1 equals to x minus y minus 1 equals to 0 and x equals to 0 as shown in the figure is. These two lines have already been drawn for you, first line and second line, right? These are the two sides, right? Next is x is equals to 0. So x is equals to 0 is basically y-axis. So if this is y-axis, so three sides of the triangle would be 1, 2 and 3. We need to consider this triangle. So if we consider this triangle, we are supposed to find this area, right? So area would be this of triangle CBD, right? We are supposed to find area of CBD triangle. So we have over here coordinates as 0, -1, 3, 2 and 0, 4. You can go by any way, like you can go by area of triangle using the coordinate, like basically the coordinate geometry, you have the formula for area of triangle, or what would be the easier way out to solve over here is you have this height as 4 and this is basically 1 unit. So complete BD length would be equal to 5 units. Complete length is 5 units, and you can calculate this height of this triangle. This height you can easily calculate. This height is same as the x coordinate of C. So if I say that CQ is height of triangle, so this is same as x coordinate of C. This is same as this length, no? This is same as this length, so that is 3. So that means this is equals to 3. So base I consider as BD. This I consider as base, which is 5 units, and this height is 3 units. So that means area of triangle, the CBD is equals to half into 5 into 3, which is 15 by 2. Okay, so 15 by 2 is the correct answer, which is 7.5 units square, right? So this is 7.5 units square, which is not there in the options. I agree. So CBSE would look into the matter, like what exactly they need to do with this question. Okay, so 7.5 is actually the correct answer for this question. Next question is, if the greater of the two supplementary angles exceeds the smaller by 18 degrees, then the greater angle is of the measure what? We need to find the measurement of the greater angle. Let's just see. We have two supplementary angles. That means let's suppose that x and y are two supplementary angles we have. And let's say that x is greater than y. If x is greater than y, then they are saying that the greater angle exceeds the smaller by 18 degrees. So x minus of y is equals to 18 degrees. We have two variables, so two equations must be formed, no? So x plus y is equals to 180 degrees, the second equation, because both the angles are supplementary angles. So if you add both the equations, you would get 2x, because y would be cancelled. You would get equal to 198 degrees. So that implies x is equals to 198 by 2. That is 99 degrees. We are supposed to find only the greater angle. So x is the greater angle. So x is 99 degrees. Okay. So D option is correct. Next is, in a triangle ABC, angle A is equals to 90 degree. AB is equals to 5 centimeter. Let's just draw this simultaneously and don't waste time, right? I hope you did the same in examination, right? ABC, right? So angle A is 90 degree, already marked. AB is equals to 5 centimeter. Okay. AC is equals to 12 centimeter, marked. Now AD is perpendicular to BC. AD is perpendicular to BC. Then AD is equals to, we need to find the measurement of AD. Okay. Let's just find how we can find this. Basically, we would find the area of this triangle ABC by taking two ways. How? Once consider BC as the base and AD as the height, and then consider AB as the base and AC as the height. From both the ways, area you are calculating is for triangle ABC, right? So area would be same. That would relate AD with other sides of the triangle, right? Let's just proceed. Area of triangle ABC is same as half into base considered as AB into height as AC, which is half into 5 into 12, which is 30 square units, right? Then again calculate the area of triangle ABC, same triangle, half into base as BC into height as AD, which is half. BC, we don't know BC as of now, but we can calculate. How we can calculate BC? This ABC is a right angle triangle, so this BC side. How we can calculate this? This is hypotenuse, which is under root of 5 square plus of 12 square under root of 169, right? So this is 13. So it would be 13 into AD, right? So you can equate this with this so as to get your value for AD. So AD into 13 by 2 is equals to 30. So that means AD is equals to 60 by 13 centimeter as the correct answer. That means option B as the correct answer. Okay. Next question you have is, if triangle ABC and triangle DEF are similar, okay, such that some measurements are given. Let's just draw the two triangles so that we don't waste our time in just reading the questions and performing our solution also. A, B and C we have. This is D, E and F. Okay. We have DE is equals to 3 centimeter, EF is equals to 2 centimeter and DF is equals to 2.5 centimeter. Okay. And BC is equals to 4 centimeter, right? Then we are supposed to find the perimeter of triangle ABC. We are supposed to find perimeter of triangle ABC. That means AB plus BC plus CA we require. But we don't have the measurement of AB and AC, which we can find easily. How? Because we know that these two triangles are similar. So ratio of their corresponding sides is same. So AB by DE is equals to BC by EF is same as AC by DF, right? So AB by DE, AB by DE, AB as it is because we are supposed to find this, DE is 3, BC is equals to 4 centimeter and EF is equals to 2 centimeter is equals to AC over here we don't know as of now, DF is 2.5. Right, so you can take this one and then you can take these two so as to find the value of AB and AC. So AB would be equal to 2 into 3 which is 6 units and then AC would be equal to 2.5 into 2 which is 5 units. Okay, so now you have this as 6 units, this as 5 units. Now you can easily find the perimeter. What exactly would be the perimeter? Perimeter would be equal to perimeter of triangle ABC is equals to 6 plus 5 plus of 4. That is equals to 15 centimeter. That means option D is the correct answer. Okay, option D is the correct answer. Next question is, if the lengths of the diagonals of rhombus are 16 and 12, then the length of the side of the rhombuses. These are the lengths of the diagonals of the rhombus. So let's say this is our rhombus. We just need to recall one property of basically the diagonals of rhombus. Then question is almost solved. What is that property? Diagonals of rhombus bisect each other at 90 degree. So that means they bisect, and once they bisect, they bisect at 90 degree. So if this is a rhombus, the diagonals bisect each other at 90 degrees. So if complete diagonal length is 16, so this is 8, this is 8. So if complete is 12, this is 6, this is 6, right? So you have a triangle over here. This triangle I am constructing, this length is 8, this length is 6, this is 90 degree angle. So this is the side of rhombus, side of rhombus. I hope you can easily see what exactly would be the answer. This is side of rhombus and this is hypotenuse, right? So that you can easily solve using Pythagoras theorem. 6 square plus of 8 square, that is 10 centimeter. So you have option C as the correct answer. Okay, option C is the correct answer for 34th question. Next question is, the length of altitude of an equilateral triangle with side 8 centimeter. There are many ways how to solve this question. If you remember the formula, well and good. The formula is root 3 by 2 into side length gives you the height length of the equilateral triangle. But if you can't remember this formula, so if you have equilateral triangle ABC, in that case, so if you draw a perpendicular or median, so you have this and this equal, this is side A, this is A by 2, this is 90 degree, you can easily calculate this height. This was the way out. If you don't if in examination you haven't memorized this formula, some students might have solved it using this method. So if you go by this method, root 3 by 2 into 8, that is 4 under root 3 centimeter as the correct answer, which is option B. Next question is, the perimeter of triangle ABC with vertices these three is, perimeter we are supposed to find. Okay, so we have triangle ABC. Okay, this is 0 comma 4, this is 0 comma 0, this is 3 comma 0. Now AB would be equal to under root of 0 minus 0 square, so 0 plus of 4 minus 0 square, 4 minus 0 square, that is 4 units only. Now BC we are supposed to find 3 minus 0 square, 3 minus 0 square plus of 0 minus 0 square, so this would come out to be equal to 3. Next you have AC. This is 3 minus 0 square, that means 3 square, plus of 0 minus 4 square, that is 4 square. Under root of this would come out to be equal to 5. Right, so perimeter would be equal to, perimeter of triangle ABC is equals to 4 plus 3 plus of 5. That means you have over here 12 units as the correct answer. Okay, you have 12 units, C option as the correct answer. Okay, hope you did this question easily, because I know you are able to memorize the distance formula. Distance formula is basically used a lot of times in this particular question paper. I have seen it is there lot of times. Even in the case study it is there. Next, if tan A is equals to 4 by 3, then cosecant A is, we are given with tan A, we can draw a triangle. This is A, so this would be opposite side over adjacent side. So this is 4, then this is 3, let's say. So this would be 5 definitely. We are supposed to find cosecant A. Cosecant A is basically hypotenuse over, this would be opposite side. Right, so hypotenuse is of length 5 units, then opposite side is of length 4 units. So you have 5 by 4 as the correct answer. Next question is, if sine of A plus B is equals to cos of A minus B is equals to 1, then find A and B. Okay, so sine of A plus B is equals to 1. This implies, what does this imply? When is sine of some angle equal to 1? When sine 90 degrees is taken, so that means A plus B is 90 degrees. Next, cos of A minus B is equals to 1. That means A minus B is equals to 0 degrees. Right, A plus B is 90 degrees, A minus B is 0 degrees. So that means if you solve both, you would get A equals to B is equals to 45 degrees. Right, so sum is 90, difference is 0. So B option 45 degree each is the correct answer. Next question is, if cosecant theta minus cot theta is 1 by 3, then cosecant theta plus cot theta is, so we have cosecant theta minus of cot theta is equals to 1 by 3. Multiply both sides by cosecant theta plus cot theta. Let's see what it makes. Cosecant theta minus cot theta into cosecant theta plus cot theta is equals to 1 by 3 cosecant theta plus of cot theta. Right, cosecant theta minus cot theta into cosecant theta plus cot theta is same as cosecant square theta minus cot square theta, which is 1 by 3 cosecant theta plus of cot theta. Right, so cosecant square theta minus cot square theta, we all know this is 1. So take this 3 to the other side, you would have cosecant theta plus of cot theta as 3 into 1, which is 3. So you have option C as the correct answer. Okay, option C, which is 3, is the correct answer. Next question is, in a single throw of a pair of dice, the probability of getting the sum a perfect square is, we want the sum as the perfect square. So for that, we need to first make the sample space of all the possible outcomes. So sample space would look somewhat like this, because we are throwing a pair of dice. right? We are throwing a pair of dice, so that means this would be our sample space. We know that sum is like this. If we draw this diagonal, no, this would give us sum 7. One above this would give us sum as 6. One more above this would give us sum as 5. This would give us sum as 4, 3, and then 2. Here you would get sum as 8. Here you would get sum as 9. Then sum is 10, 11, and 12. Okay, so we want the sum to be a perfect square. Perfect square. What perfect squares are possible? 4 is a perfect square, then 9 is a perfect square here. Rest all the numbers are not perfect square. So 4 is possible for 1, 3, 2, 2, and 3, 1, right? And 9 is possible for 3, 6, 4, 5, 5, 4, and 6, 3. So definitely we have all these as our favorable outcomes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 favorable outcomes. So 7 favorable outcomes, and in total 36 as outcome. Total are 36 outcomes. Okay, so you have 7 by 36 as the required probability, which is option B. Okay, next question here is of case study. First 40 questions were your single correct questions. Now you have 2 case study based questions. Let's just see. We have a rough coordinate map of various localities shown below. A, B, C up till F, whatever the denotes is already given to you. Let's just see what questions we have based on this. First question is the coordinates of the grocery store are. Coordinates of grocery store. Let's just find where is the grocery store here. Okay, which is E. This is the grocery store, that is 7, 2. So you have 7, 2 as the correct answer for the grocery coordinates of grocery store. Okay. Next is the distance between the hotel and the post office is. Distance between the hotel and the post office. Here post office and this is hotel. That means C here is 4, 5, and this hotel over here is at F. So F here is at 8, 6. You need to find the distance between 8, 6 and 4, 5. So how we would find as distance required is under root of 8 minus 4 square, that is 4 square, plus 6 minus 5 square, that is 2 square. You would get under root of 16 plus 4, that is under root of, this is correct, you have 8 minus 4 square and this. Okay, so you have under root of 20 over here. Have I written the coordinates correctly? This is 4, 5, which is C as post office, and hotel over here is 8, 6. This is for F. So 8, 6, 8 minus 4, 4 square, and 6 minus 5. Yeah, I did like there is no option matching. That's why I just checked. Okay, so you have over here 1 square. I written it incorrectly. So 1 square is over here. So it is 4 square 16 plus of 1. This is under root of 17. Right. So under root of 17 units is the correct answer. Next question is, if a point x, y is equidistant from both the laundry and the post office. Post office and laundry. That is B and C point. C is at 4, 5 and B is at 2, 3. And there is a point x, y which is equidistant from both these points. So that means if this point is x, then Cx is equals to Bx. So that means square will also be same. So that means you have x minus 4 square plus of y minus of 5 square is same as x minus 2 whole square plus of y minus 3 whole square. So it would be x square plus of 16 minus of 8x plus of y square plus of 25 minus of 10y. This is same as x square plus of 4 minus of 4x plus of y square plus of 9 minus of, here you have 6y. Okay, so this implies x square and y square would be cancelled from both the sides. You have 16 plus of 25 minus of 4 minus of 9 equals to minus 4x plus 8x. So you have 4x minus 6y and then plus of 6y, 4 of y. Here if you do the subtractions, you would have 25 plus 3, that is 28 is equals to 4x plus of 4y. This implies x plus y is 7. So this is the required equation, which is B option. So option B is correct. Next question is, Anuradha goes first to the laundry from the post office and then from there to the grocery store. The total distance traveled by her is from she goes first to the laundry from the post office. Post office is the originating point. Then she goes to the laundry, that is point B, this way. And then she moved to the grocery store, which is point E, this way, right? C point is basically 4, 5, and then this B point is 2, 3, and this E point is basically 7, 2. We are supposed to find first distance and then second. First is from 4, 5 to 2, 3, and then from 2, 3 to 7, 2. Let's just denote this C, B and E. So CB would be equal to 4 minus 2 square, that is 2 square, plus 5 minus 3 square, that is 2 square again. So you would get 4 plus 4, that is under root 8. Now BE is equals to under root of 2 minus 7 square, that is 5 square, 3 minus of 2 square plus of 1 you have. This is equals to under root of 26. So total distance traveled by Anuradha over here would be under root 8 plus under root of 26, which is option D as the correct answer. Okay, option D is correct answer. Next question is the coordinates of the reflection of the post office on the y-axis. So this is the post office which has coordinates as 4, 5. If you take its reflection in the y-axis over here, so it would be somewhat around here. So whatever is this distance is same as this distance and height remains the same. If height remains the same, y coordinate remains the same. So y coordinate is definitely 5. So what would be the x coordinate? From 0, this distance is 4. So from 0 this distance would be minus, this distance would again be 4. So coordinate you would be reaching is minus of 4. So that means minus 4, 5 is the correct answer. Minus 4, 5 will give you the correct answer. Next case study was Pukamal is the flower bed or flower pattern designed during Onam in Kerala. It is similar to Rangoli in North India and Kolam in Tamil Nadu. During the festival of Onam, your school is planning to conduct a Pukamal competition. Your friend who is a partner in competition suggests 2 designs as given below. This is design 1, this is design 2. The design 1 is made up of a circle of 32 centimeter. This is of 32 centimeter, leaving an equilateral triangle in the middle as shown in the figure. The Pukamal is made with this one. Second one is basically made with 9 circular designs, each of the radius 7 centimeter enclosed a square. Basically this has radius as 7 centimeter and is enclosed in a square. So based on that we are supposed to find the solutions. Okay, let's find. For the first one, the length of side of triangle ABC based on design 1 you need to find. So this was your design 1. So length of triangle ABC, this is ABC, it is an equilateral triangle already mentioned to you, right? So this radius we have as 32 centimeters, which has already been given to you. So again this would be 32 centimeter. If you draw a perpendicular from the origin, like basically if you draw this from the center of the circle, a perpendicular is drawn over here, so it would bisect these, right? So basically whatever is this length, double of that would be the side length of the triangle. So how to find this length? We can find this length easily. How? As this is an equilateral triangle, so once you draw this radius, it divides this angle into equal parts, which is 30 degrees each. So you have now this triangle, this is 30 degrees, this is 32 centimeter and this is half of the length of the side of triangle ABC. Complete length, if I say this complete length is A, so its half length is A by 2. Now you have adjacent side as A by 2, hypotenuse as 32, you can apply cos 30 degrees. That is equals to under root 3 by 2, which is A by 2 over 32. Cancel this 2, you have A as 32 root 3. So 32 root 3 is the correct answer. Next question, the length of the altitude of triangle ABC. By now we have the side, so length of the altitude can easily be found. Similar question was there even in single correct, right? If you memorize the formula directly, root 3 by 2 into side, this would give you the direct answer, that is under root 3 by 2 into side, which is 32 under root 3. Cancel this up, you have 16, so 16 into 3, that is 48 centimeters, gives you the correct answer. Okay, so C option is correct. Next we have is the area of the square ABCD. For finding the area of square, we need to square its side length. So side length, how we can find this side? This length we are supposed to find. So you can see this line passing through the centers and making the diameters of all these three circles is same as AB. Right, so basically this is diameter first, this is second, this is third, and all are joint. That means thrice of the diameter of all this circle, right? These are same circles, like they have same radius. So radius was 7, right? So that means 6 times the radius would give us the complete length, or 3 times the diameter would give us the complete length of the side. So that means side of square ABCD is same as 7 into 6, which is 42 centimeter. So if we have side as 42 centimeter, square of it, which is 1764, gives you the area of square, right? So complete area is 1764 centimeter square. Next is the area of each circular region is, basically this region. Okay, so radius is 7, so for that area of each circular region is, we have pi r square, that is pi is 22 by 7, r is 7 to 7, so you have 22 into 7, which is 154 centimeter squares, that is D option. Right, next, last question is the area of the remaining portion of the square ABCD besides the 9 circles. So if you cancel off this area of 9 circles, whatever is the remaining portion, this is the remaining portion, right? This is the remaining portion. That is what you are supposed to find. So area of remaining portion is same as area of square, which is 1764, minus 9 times the area of each circular region, which we have already found, 9 into 154, that is same as equals to 378. When you can do the calculation, 378 square centimeter gives you the correct answer for 50th question. Okay, with this I wound up this session. So hope you got most of the questions as correct. All the very best for your next examination. Take care. Bye.
Bring learning alive practically.